Today we're going to change a rack and pin steering on a Mark IV. This is a VR6 like always, and this will also work on your 1.8 and 2 liter Mark IVs, and it'll be exactly the same procedure. This is my third rack and pin steering on this car. The second one was from a junkyard and that one leaked. I'm hoping to have better luck with this one this time. When you're going to a junkyard, it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, if the car's been in a front end crash, it's likely that it's going to leak again. When you get in a bad crash like that, it's going to break the seals on the car. The car that I got this off of, they said that it was had a blown motor on it, so hopefully it wasn't in a front end crash, and we'll have a little better luck with it not leaking this time.
I'm not afraid of...
Gonna undo the banjo. Alright, so we're going to take the micrometer out. We're going to measure how many threads we have real quick. I'm going to try and get as close to the alignment as we can. I'm just going to take note of these. And we're going to use a 19. Maybe a 19 or an 18. And yours are also going to be facing the opposite direction. Yours will be coming from the top down. Gonna get our little tuning fork. Oops. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to remove the dog bone now. Okay, stop that now. Alright, so we're going to loosen the 4 subframe bolts, but we're not going to remove them all the way. Also, you want to remove the exhaust bracket from the rear of the subframe. Here, one bolt there. Move it around as is needed. Alright, now we want to support the subframe with the floor jack. And then we're going to undo the 4. There's 4 21mm subframe bolts. We're going to remove those so that the subframe can drop down. Now we're going to remove the one in the back, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is a horrible angle. Alright. Alright, and we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Alright, now we're going to lower the subframe just a little bit. Should be good. And we're going to get our catch bucket. Alright, you're going to use a long extension. Okay, now we're going to do the other one. Alright, so now I'm going to fully remove the rack bolts, the 13mm bolts. Can you see that at all? Not very well. This one. We'll take the rest of them out. Two. Yeah, the back lid is fucking it up.
Yeah.
So I don't have to soak these now since they're already soaked in this fluid. Alright. Ready? Alright, now should come right out. What's in the way? Alright, so we got the new junkyard rack. I painted it with red engine paint just because that's what I had. And so this guy's all ready to go. What we're gonna do when we put it on, there's a little divot right here. We're gonna put that divot right there into the subframe, and that's how we're gonna know it's in the right place. The same way. So there's a little divot here in the front, and we can get it in there, and then we can put our first bolt in. Just hand tighten the first two. This is the part where we're going to connect the high pressure and low pressure lines back to the rack. So there's a perfect balance here between having enough space to get in from the side here so we can bolt these down, and also we want to make sure that we're not putting too much stress on these cables. So we're going to kind of work the two and get these in together. We can even pull it farther a little more so we can get a little more access. Could probably go up just a tad bit more. Just enough so we still have access. Alright, so we're going to get the first line in. This is the feed from the pump, and like I said, we're trying not to put too much pressure on it. I think the bottom one just has one washer. The return line has two washers. So we're going to put this guy back on. Alright, now we're going to put the return line on. This one has a washer on the back and a washer on the front. Make sure we get the washers on both sides. And also make sure we don't cross thread anything. Alright, so we know it's not cross-threaded. because it's going in nice and smooth. Alright, now we got those nice and tight. We're gonna go ahead and jack it up. We're gonna hold on the dog bone mount, pull it out a little too, so we can get the shaft of the rack right in the hole. We want to shift it accordingly. Alright, so now that we have the rack going inside of the car, it's a little hard to shift it all over. I had to grab some help real quick just to shift it while I jacked it up. We can actually start putting the frame bolts in now. We're going to put all the frame bolts in, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten our 4 rack bolts. We can shift the rack until it gets aligned properly. Alright, so we're tightening up the last rack bolt. Now what we can do is tighten the subframe all the way. You can shift the subframe just a little bit. When you're putting, there's a little bit of play in the subframe when you just have them hand tightened. And I like to try to get the rear ones kind of the same amount of play in the back so that the caster is spot on.